It's do or die for Argentinian rugby today, and here's their team. They made a very late change. Guillermo Ango coming in at fullback. That was just announced 15 minutes today. 15 minutes ago, Rafael Madero coming in at number 13 and going into the centres. Then the club combination of Ternes, Porter and Gomez near the scrum. Up front, there's a tough front row of Molina, Dengra and hooker Diego Cash. The biggest player in the team is number 4, Eliseo Branca, and at number 8 is the tallest in today's Puma lineup, Gabriel Travaglini. In the New Zealand team, there are 7 changes from the machine, which totted up 74 points against Fiji. Kieran Crowley comes back at fullback for his 9th test. Terry Wright is onto the left wing wearing number 11. Then there's the first of the new caps, number 12, Bernie McCahill. Number 8, Andy Earn, and the new flanker Zinzan Brook make 2 changes in the loose forwards. Murray Pearce returns at lock, dropping Albert Anderson to the stands, and in the front row Richard Lowe comes back to join John Drake and Sean Fitzpatrick. That's the New Zealand team to meet Argentina today. Well, all the players will get a look at the William Webb Ellis Trophy as they come past. Well, there is going to be a slight delay here because some skydivers are coming in, arrived a fraction late. And in fact, one of the trailers collided with one of the Argentinian players. And here comes the lucky last coming in. I think it's the lucky last man coming down, skydivers. So lots of excitement in front of a big crowd at Athletic Park today. And obviously they're going to have to hurry these people out of the way to make sure that today's match kicks off on time at 3 o'clock. And there is the first of today's new caps for the New Zealand team, 22-year-old Zinzan Brook from the Marist Club in Auckland. And Zinzan Brook, his debut for New Zealand today. And with him also playing his first game, number 12, also from the Marist Club in Auckland, getting a handshake from a teammate there. And this is Bernie McCahill. Well, that's an amazing scene, and there are 45 photographers around the Pumas team. Not so many around the New Zealand team. Well, the usual discipline of the World Cup starts has just gone astray there. You can see there are people all over the field, and at a rough guess, I'd say these people are just about all supporters of the Pumas team. There are 3 or 4 club teams in New Zealand touring at the moment, tying in their own private club tours with the Rugby World Cup. And they came onto the field from their position down in front of the Millard stand and wanted to stand with the Puma team in solidarity, I suppose. Now let's look at the All Blacks haka, and leading it is the new man. Big moment for Zinzan Brook, brand new All Black today, making it 4 players from the Maris Club in Auckland in the New Zealand team this afternoon. 4 players also from the University Club in Auckland, and they'll be playing against the Puma team led by this man, number 10, and perhaps his last game for the Pumas, Hugo Potter. And there's today's referee, Roger Quittenden. Well, it's going to be a question today of whether the Pumas qualify for the quarterfinals or whether they'll be on Aerolíneas Argentina flight AR881 on Wednesday. Back home and out of the World Cup. Porter begins the match in glorious conditions. There is a breeze, which is the standard World Cup Wellington wind, if you like, coming from this end and heading towards Island Bay in the distance, a northerly, but really it's a balmy Wellington afternoon. And there have been criticisms of Wellington's weather, but you can't really question it today. It's a glorious day.
Well, the All Blacks won the toss and elected to play into this wind, let Argentina take the kick-off.
Remember, a late change in the Argentinian team was just announced before the kick-off. That's the man who led the haka, the new man, Brook, and he'll be pleased, no doubt, to get a good hand on the ball in the first moment of play. And a sort of a ragged kick by Grant Fox, but it did bounce to touch.
Well, it's a beautiful day in Wellington, and I've got to apologise to all my Wellington friends. As I did my constitutionalist walk around Wellington this morning, I got a lot of ribbing about what I said on television last night about the weather, but they've turned on a magnificent day today, Keith.
Throwing for the Pumas will be their hooker, number 2, Diego Cash. Argentinian Pumas have not been in the capital of New Zealand since 1979. David Kirk, the New Zealand captain. There's David Kirk. 30th test match today. Let's hope it's not an unlucky one for him.
23:59 try.
Well, it's just never quite goes right, does it? Few undignified moments at the start of this match at Athletic Park today. And there's the Puma pack. They've got to work hard today. They've got to win the match or draw it to get through to the quarterfinals. And it goes to Hugo Porter for the first time. Straight down to Crowley and the dog. Well, in fact, that brings back memories of a Canterbury All Black, Howard Joseph, who fell over a dog in Athletic Park one day. And my word, that was very close indeed to being a bit of a disaster. Now he's gone out just about where John Kerwin stands. He's wearing the right colours, I suppose we have to say that, Graham Thorne.
I think the game's got to stop.
Oh dear, he's now in front of 35,000 people, a live telecast to Argentina. He has disgraced himself, the dog. I don't believe it. Fabio Gomez is number 9. Number 7 is Alejandro Schiavio. Terry White, the light, frail-looking All Black winger, taking some ferocious bumps there from the Pumas, who certainly look as though they're here for business today. Well, look, that's ridiculous. The dog is still there, standing in the middle of the field. And I think someone should have done something. The ball could go over there, and we could all have all sorts of disasters. And there was a policeman creeping onto the field over to the right. There's the man who's on the field of play, the policeman there, waiting to take him off. Meantime, that was against David Kirk. Not in straight. Referee today, Roger Quittenden, his 16th full international game. It's a free kick, so no direct kick can be taken at goal. Porter is the danger man. Last time he played against the All Blacks, there were 3 drop goals from Porter. Away to the right. You can see what a problem the Sun is going to be in the second half of this game. But there he is. The question is being asked about this man. Will this be his last international match for the Pumas? Looking along the 22-metre line in glorious conditions. They'll kick into the shade of the huge Millard stand. Taken in by Richard Lowe, number 1. I get the impression here the All Blacks have decided to weather the early storm of the fired-up Puma team and just play it a bit safe and sensible in the first few moments.
It's a big decision for David Kirk to have actually taken the decision to play against the Elements. I'm sure Andy Dalton, sitting in the stand, might not have been all at with him for that, Keith.
There's Richard Lowe. Where there's a lot of you can hear the grunt from these men as they are exerting maximum effort at these early lineups. So that's the halfway line. Kirk, number 9, watched by Fabio Gomez, number 9. Again, a kick from Fox. This is the new fullback, Guillermo Ango. Collision! Oh, and it nearly went to Earl. And this is the man who, well, if you believe the public address system, that announcement was made just at 2:30. And Diego Cuesta Silva was left out of the Puma team. It's his first international. Now driving away. That looked like it was knocked forward, but the advantage may apply. That's Zinzan Book. He'll be able to be identified by the blue sock on his leg. And it's a penalty to New Zealand. There were hands used in there by Eliseo Branca. This is Zinzan Brook. He's only had 9 games for his province, Auckland. And last year he came to Wellington twice, was beaten on here by Wellington, national championship game, and captained the New Zealand Colts, and they were beaten by 56-12. So maybe Athletic Park in the All Black jersey will be a happier hunting ground for Zinzan Brook. Meantime, the first shot at goal today. Grant Fox. Well, that's the best goal kicked at that end of Athletic Park this week. And New Zealand are on the board and lead Argentina by 3 points to 0.
Grant Fox.
So Porter restarts with the Pumas down and kicks it deep. Remember, they win if the ball goes over the in-goal area, the dead ball line on the full. They come back to halfway for a scrum. So that was getting pretty close to that dead ball line. Very big crowd here today at Athletic Park, about 55,000 people. That's the biggest crowd they've had at Athletic Park in 10 years, at least. Number 4 for New Zealand, Murray Pearce. Number 1 is Seraphin Dengra. Fox again. And that's floated wide and into touch on the full.
Again, getting used to the wind, Grant Fox. It's not blowing as much as it was all week, but you've got to really play it in the tram lines, as Earl Curtin keeps telling us.
Someone's giving the referee advice there in the New Zealand team. It was a Kiwi accent. Not straight, not straight. First real glimpse there of Bernie McCahill getting in to touch the ball. This New Zealand team driving hard up through the big top man of the pack, seeing if the Pumas like it put on them up front. And Fox has kicked it every time he's got it so far. This is Guillermo Ango. And that is a very ragged piece of fullback play by the replacement fullback. Officials of the Argentinian Rugby Football Union watching there. And a penalty, another penalty for New Zealand. Roger Quinton has dashed away to the left to penalise the Argentinian backs for being up within 10 metres of the line out. Now, I don't know, were you watching along that line, Graham? Because that's a sort of a hairline decision for a referee to make early in the game.
It's as if it's close to the posts, but there's 5 ways a line out can cease, and until that actually has happened, the backs can't creep up. Of course, all backs want to creep up because they're scared they won't get up on their man when he gets the ball. But Roger Quinton saw it.
Well, Grant Fox, his last kick at Christchurch in the match against Fiji brought up 50 points for him in Test rugby in really just 2 internationals, because he did play his Test debut against Argentina in 1985, but he didn't take the kicks that day. The kicks, in fact, were taken by Kieran Crowley, but Fox managed to drop goal there. So 48 points in the World Cup, plus the drop goal, plus 3 today, 54 so far. Close, but Fred Howard and Dave Burnett, the 2 touch judges, saw it fly wide. Fox doesn't have a great reputation for kicking on Athletic Park. This is the first time he's kicked here for the All Blacks, of course. Fox's opposite, Portar, restarts. That's Alan Wetton, number 6. These signs look ominous. Eliseo Branco getting back, that's the 22-metre line. Kirk, now Fox has let it go. McCahill, Stanley, just not quite having the momentum. That's only the 22 there. So here's, I think, an injury. No, they decided to let George Alain. There's Hector Silva. We just got a wee look at him there. We'll have a look at him later on during the game. He's the Puma coach. Kirk. Fox. Kerwin. Oh, he picked that up beautifully. Was just flying behind him. That's Andy Earl, number 8. Alan Wetton, 6. Kirk again. There's been a collision out in midfield. Joe Stanley's one of the players down. McCahill. Low. Kirk. Narrow side. Kerwin again. Into Kirk. And Kirk has scored in every World Cup match so far. Look at the way Joe Stanley's on the ground, so they had to go around him. This is the second time the ball had gone to the right on the narrow side. Hard running from Kerwin, good support from Kirk, He got a try against Italy, 2 against Fiji, and now he scored again against the Pumas.
Here's the difference between Campisi and Kerwin at the moment. All the confidence in the world from Kerwin. Inside his man. There it is to Kirk, and Kirk does the rest.
Andy Dalton in the back there, shading his eyes from Wellington's sunshine this afternoon. But the immediate worry is for Joe Stanley. I think there was a bit of a collision between Stanley on that cut back with McCahill. He was coming back towards the centre now. Stanley a little slow to get up. He had problems with his knees last year, and that really affected his form. But he's been okay this year and been playing with a lot of strength in the midfield. 30-year-old Joe Stanley, one of 11 Aucklanders in this New Zealand team this afternoon, and that's a record. So that was a good try by New Zealand. They tried twice up the narrow side, and second time they avoided the injured player there, and a strong burst by Kerwin, good support by Kirk, and the New Zealand captain scored. There's the Puma captain restarting.
Exactly what Argentina doesn't want, though. They don't want to be down so early in the game, 7-0 after 15 minutes, and they're playing with the wind. They've got to score those tries or beat the All Blacks to get into that quarter-final berth, and the way they're playing, they're not going to do it.
What I've liked most about the All Blacks in these first 15 minutes of play has been their concentration to an obvious plan. Fox has kicked it. This is Gomez, the halfback on the narrow side. He's got clear of Kirk. Brook is back, carried on by Kash, number 2. Lost forward. This man here in the foreground is Marcelo Campo. He's one of the survivors of the Puma team here in 1979 that played in Wellington on an awful day against the New Zealand team. So the first time New Zealand's been in defence. Oh, knock on there. And offside play by David Kirk. So here's a chance for the Pumas to get back into the game, because they have Hugo Porta, and he's going to have a shot at goal. Now, if it's understood that Grant Fox is a goal kicker of the very highest class, then Hugo Porta has served his country in outstanding fashion as well. In fact, he scored over 350 points against international rugby board countries. Remember, this is a man who began his international rugby career when the man outside him, Fabien Ternez, was only 7 years of age. He's been playing since 1971 in the blue and white colours. And that's why he is one of the most efficient goal kickers in the history of the game. Hugo Porta puts Argentina on the board at 7-3.
A lot of pressure there going on the New Zealand scrum at halfback, and first 5/8 for David Kirk was annoyed by the people, and then of course Grant Fox was in all sorts of trouble.
New Zealand in the lead by 4. Try to their captain. Taken in by Alan Wetton, who's shown an amazingly improved form at the very highest level in the series. He's got a try 2 in each of the matches so far. Now that is control. Way to Fox. Stanley again. Porter made the upright tackle, but Stanley got away.
The Argentinian backs getting up very quickly on the New Zealand backs. The ball staying in the back of the scrum. They can get right up on that line.
Standing flat, the back liners, casting long shadows, you can see. And that's going to be much worse for the Pumas to face in the second half. Narrow side, Andy Earl. Or Crowley up, and well done too. Good tackle over the touchline on Kirk by Fabian Ternez. But, sorry, that's the fullback, Guillermo Ango. But that was good to see Kieran Crowley, the other number 15, come in at good speed. Wellington people will be watching this man closely. Taking the place of John Gallagher today. And lifting in the Argentinian line-out. That's the second time that there's been lifting. Second time now. That means, Graham, I suppose, that there could be a sending off for repeated defence because of his calling out the number of times. You can be sent off for repeated offending.
Yes, I was actually talking to Mr. Quinton in the street this morning on my constitutional, and he's very happy to be here in New Zealand. Of course, he has got a great affinity with the place, and he says the games have been very good to control. There's been no foul play, and but he's been away from his school for, well, he's going to be for a month, and he's losing money, which is a sad thing.
So there's Andy Dalton and Brian Lahore. Not often you see Fox slip as low as 33% success rate, so he's due to hit one. So from his best side and right on cue, the lead again extends out to 10 points to 3.
And New Zealand's penalty, Grant Fox.
So that 33 and a third percent zips up now to 50%. It's amazing to see a New Zealand team with so many from one province in it. You know, the record before 1987 was 7. It was the most any team had put into a test match. And Auckland beat that with 9 against Italy, 10 against the Fijians, and 11 today. Richard Lowe is the loose head prop for New Zealand today. Number 9, Gomez, back to Porter. Eludes one tackler. That's Marcelo Campo. The big high centre kick, and that's a good one. Crowley waiting, crunch coming. And that is a mark under genuine and very real pressure, which Kieran Crowley has taken. He was being closed in on by Schiavio. And that was a glorious piece of fullback play from an excellent kick by Marcelo Campo. Look at that again. He had 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 Pumas bearing down, but certainly Alejandro Schiavio was right there. And that was a good mark for Crowley. Castro's, that's a quick look at Branca and Pierce. It bounced, I think, off Brooks' face there, or off his upper chest.
Good clean instructions from Roger Quittenden saying it wasn't straight, there was no advantage, so he come back for the scrum, New Zealand ball.
Player on the deck now. This is Jorge Allen. This is the young man. He's played a lot of rugby in South Africa. Lived there for several seasons. Been a vital man in the Pumas' loose forward scheme, the blindside flank, although they play left and right mostly. Luis Molina there, number 3. Puma front row is penalised. Fox to clear. Well, there's Grant Fox. He really thrives on the pressure, the big pressure day, and that was a classic case with that last kick. Dengra to the left. Then Branca. Tap ball to Dengra to Gomez. As the front row, you see Molina, nearest to us. Then Cash. Then Serafin Dengra. That's the halfway line there to the right. New Zealand leading by 10 points to 3. Away to Fox. McCahill left out. Kerwin wriggles free. Beats the fullback. McCahill. Kerwin. Now the backs are sprinting to be in position for the next phase, if they can set it up. But the whistle has gone. The fence is up very flat, Graham Thorne, isn't it?
Very flat, and the way the All Black side are not running onto the ball, they should. I think they're getting themselves into all sorts of trouble out there.
McCahill caught, and I think New Zealand might abandon that tactic if the referee's not going to penalise the offside by the Pumas. Madero out to Campo, that looked forward, and the referee couldn't ensure it is the same. Now the Pumas are getting a bit frustrated. You can hear them calling out in exasperation, but that was quite definitely forward. They've got a lot to play for here today, and I think they're feeling the pressure a bit.
You see the Puma backs are right up flat, even the wing is up there. I think little pop kicks are now on.
So they're going to test Guillermo Ango on the 22. Well taken, McCahill! Right! Ango again. Lanza, the winger. Lanza, number 11, has come across from the left-hand side to save the day. And that very nearly had Bernie McCahill in under the posts.
They had to change their tactics. The little pop kick over the top and go after it, or a higher kick, which they did, came from Fox.
Sean Fitzpatrick, number 2, on the 22. Oh, that's a good throw. You see, it was the flat, fast one to Alan Wetton. There are many variations. Now, out to Fox, to McCahill. Again, the backs opposite are up flat. Zinzan, crashing to the 22. That's Stanley in support, also low. Gary Wetton. Kerwin, Crowley waiting on the wings. Fox, hit hard by Ango, and that could be a high and dangerous tackle. Let's have a look at referee Quittenden. No, he's decided to take the line out. Here is that tackle again. Kerwin on Fox. Yeah, on a pretty hard tackle. Seen worse ones penalised. Fabio Gomez deep between Kerwin and Crowley. They've got time on their side here. Well, Wellington people will be watching here closely as well. The one person in the crowd, Sean Gallagher, the father of John Gallagher, who arrived in the country from London yesterday, watching in the stands today, but not seeing his own son play. He'll have to wait to see if John Gallagher gets in the New Zealand team for any further matches in this Rugby World Cup. Snapped up by Brooke. That's the Wellington policeman, Murray Pearce, the only Wellington man in the team today. Kirk to Brooke. To Kerwin. Oh, held off and given to Brooke again. To McCahill. Intercept. That looked like Rafael Madero who made the intercept. And really, the New Zealanders are pushing forward with bursts of pressure. And it's a penalty to New Zealand under the posts. The Pumas have offended again under the heat of that New Zealand build-up. They went over the top. And this is a simple 3 points for New Zealand. Porter being explained.
That was all caused by Zinzan Brook. He was in that move 3 times, and when he runs off that ball, he's very hard to stop. There he is, taking over from Michael Jones. Tremendous player.
Look at this again. It was really a Marist Club move from Auckland. There was Kerwin. He seemed to wait for his clubmate to come into the scene. And this is the Marist man from Auckland. Here's the third Marist man from Auckland. And that was very good combination. But there's where the Pumas went over the top, and they were penalised by referee Cuddenden. It's Hector Silva. This will be the last time he coaches the Puma rugby team. He's been their coach since 1983. They changed the rules actually to allow him to extend a 2-year term. Traditionally, the coach in Argentina only lasts 2 years, but in 1985 they extended it for 2 more years to take in the World Cup. Now, I'm not sure who this player is here. It's the same man that was hurt before, Jorge Allen. What a glorious Wellington afternoon. Simple kick coming up for Grant Fox after 25 minutes. So it's now a 10-point gap, and that's looking comfortable for New Zealand in the first half into the wind.
And ominous for the Argentinians. They, as you say, the All Blacks are playing into this wind. There isn't much of it, but they're playing very well, and they're, as you would imagine, when they've got the number of Aucklanders they have in the side, they're playing like Auckland have played.
It's funny, I could have sworn this was a New Zealand team, Graham, picked from the best players in New Zealand, but there you are. Cahill number 12, Fox number 10. In fact, there are 4 players from this man's club as well, University in Auckland. That's Alan Wetton.
It's a long time ago, Keith, when I was playing for the University of Auckland in 1968. I was the only member of the All Blacks side from Auckland. And now look at them, and my club's university got 4.
Yes, 4 from University, 4 from Marist, 2 from Grammar. That's the Wetton twins, and 1 from Ponsonby. Only 1 South Islander in the New Zealand team today. That's Andy Earl, number 8. Big jump went in by Campo, and that's halfway.
Just down your feet, please. Just going down there.
Number 8 is penalised. That's the only South Islander in the New Zealand team, and there he is, Andy Earl from the Glenmark club in Canterbury. They've also got Bruce Deans in the squad, and Richard Lowe used to play for the club. From the penalty, Hugo Porta is going to go for a really big one. See, the halfway line is just in front of him, and then 50 metres to the post. So it's about 51, a few more paces on the angle. So it's about 52 metres for Hugo Porta. Oh, great goal! Great goal from the great man. Just when the gap was out to 10 points and looking ominous, Hugo Porta closes it up now to 13-6.
That was a good kick, because he didn't have as much Wellington wind as some of the other kickers that have kicked big kicks, but he hit it so beautifully, and it never really looked like missing.
So the New Zealand team will know that to offend is a sin against this man. The gap is now 7 points. Down to Fabio Gomez. He's out in the full now. Halfback is one position where the Pumas are not strong at the moment. They have problems. One of their leading players at halfback doesn't like to travel, and they've had injuries as well. They've brought in a club player as the reserve halfback for this match. There's Sergio Carosio. Lock forward. Travaglini, number 8. Carosio feels it again. Pumas driving him towards halfway. And the man with the ball now is Eliseo Branca, biggest man on the field for the Pumas, 1.96 m, 102 kilograms.
6, 4, change it 6-3-4-9. 63-49 drive.
Wetton, Alan Wetton. That's his twin brother Gary. David Kirk. Cahill. Kerwin coming back in from out on the outer space areas to crash up through the centre.
That's what they're trying to do, New Zealand, set up the play over that advantage line so the forwards can rush in, as Zinzan Brook is doing so well there.
New Zealand are totally dominating scrum position. Pumas have only won 2 scrums out of the dozen that they've been in the game so far.
Which means that they're making the mistakes. They're knocking the ball on and we're not throwing it in straight.
Penalties and free kicks favour New Zealand 5-2 at the moment. Fox, and that was nearly a intercept chance. Terry Wright goes down again, number 11. It was Alejandro Schiavio. Rafael Madero out to Lanza. Juan Lanza at halfway. Snapped down by big man Kerwin. McCarhill. Kerwin, that's halfway. Crowley. It's a very hard bruising match at the moment. That's Alan Wetton. Takes Luis Molina back into the ruck. Here's Earl. Takes on his opposite number, Gabriel Travaglini. And my word, Grantham, that's bruising, isn't there?
Sure, man on man, but coming back to that knock on from Argentina with the intercept pass way back here that Mr. Quinton didn't see.
Another loose head for New Zealand. Andy Earl off the back. Wetton. Kerwin. Rook. Oh, look at the man. He's relishing that black shirt. Another excellent run by Zinzan Brook. Man who's not unfamiliar with the black shirt of New Zealand. He's worn it twice up at the Hong Kong Sevens and in the Sevens in Sydney. Fox. Stanley. McCarhill at the 22. Brook's doing good work in there again. Kirk finding Fox. Crowley. This time the speedy man Wright. As he is being assisted by his winger over there. John Kerwin right across to assist Terry Wright. Haven't seen Terry Wright in the game much as yet, just taking a couple of very heavy bangs in that first 20 minutes. We've got 6 minutes to go on the clock till half time. Branca behind him, Carosio. Schiavio, Travaglini. Number 5, Sergio Carosio. Alain, Gomez, Porter. It's gone more or less straight up and back. That's Cash. Laid it back beautifully, but it hit the foot of one of the big forwards coming forward.
And he wasn't offside. The Argentinians are saying he was offside. It was just loose play, no problems.
was a knock on. No, there's some jersey holding in there. They pulled the man at the jump, and this is a chance, a further chance for Argentina to close that gap up. So all the penalties to the Pumas in the game so far have been within kicking range of Hugo Porta. Argentina's captain for the last 10 years. And one of the great players, certainly one of the great goal kickers, Hugo Porta, makes the score 13 points to 9.
But the Argentinians need tries. They need at least 3 tries to get into the quarterfinals. So much as they are keeping in touch with the All Blacks, they need to get that ball over the line.
Well, they could win, Graham, if they win the game by penalties, and Porter's done that a few times. I know what you mean. If they fall behind the All Blacks, they've got to score tries. That's where they are at the moment. But if they win the game, and remember last time they played the All Blacks, they got a 21-all draw, and Porter kicked a lot. Cahill to Stanley, to Kerwin, Lanza chasing hard, Brook, Zinzan Brook to Kerwin, and that's the corner flag there. And my word, those Marist boys up in Auckland will be having a great time in the clubhouse at the moment, because their 4 players, the quartet from the Marist club, are certainly featuring in a lot of bursts down the right wing. And here's one of them, John Kerwin.
Well, Zinzan Brook, it looks like the ball is actually an extension of his arm today. He's so close to the ball. Amazing.
Gomez, now you see that's where the Pumas have had problems in the World Cup, at half-back.
Yeah, I think Gomez is playing quite well today, Keith. He's had a few runs from the base of the scrum.
Could you wait?
There's the quick look at the Puma's badge. You can see that actually it's not a Puma at all on the badge. It's actually a member of the Jaguar family, because those of you who study mammals will know that a Puma does not have spots. So it's actually a Jaguetta, which is a member of the Jaguar family, not a Puma at all. But it was determined as the symbol of Argentina rugby because a reporter in Rhodesia made a mistake, thought it was the Puma and called them the Pumas. The name caught on, even though it's not a Puma at all. It's now been, of course, officially adopted as the monogram and symbol of rugby in Argentina. So we're watching the Pumas in action for the 2nd time ever on Athletic Park. The injured man is Jorge Elen. Off the Pumas throw, it's back with Fox. Cahill left out, standing on the crash ball. Gary Wetton clears it out into the centres again. This is Terry Wright. Looking a bit jittery, Terry Wright. That one just rolled off the end of his hand.
He's not getting the ball that well this afternoon, Terry Wright. He's not getting it in front of him when he's running onto it. He's had all his passes on his hip or behind.
This guy, of course, is a real greyhound. He can really fly. Not so strongly built, and a real speedster. Just near half-time and just near the 22 in Puma territory. New Zealand leading by 13 points to 9. Fitzpatrick is up. Gomez, Porta, out to Pernes. Fullback is up. This is Ango. Try to push his hands forward. That's Modero, number 13. Kerwin gets away from Lanza, although Lanza does get him. And that's Guillermo Ango, the fullback, coming into the line there, but just not able to clear his infield pass for the follow-through. Look at those Puma backs. I think they're probably actually offside right now. Very close to it. Referee did not look around. Kerwin. Oh, he's crashed through on the very narrowest of gaps. And he's going to set it up for his comeback. And all back teammate Zinzan. Zinzan broke the try. This was a very narrow blindside, as you can see, for Kirk and Kerwin to attempt. But Kerwin, he got through, missed a head high and then set up Zinzan Brook. And on his test debut, the man scores a try.
He's just so strong, John Kerwin. Look, he's only got about 2 metres and he goes outside of Lanza, and the support comes, who else is inside but Zinzan Brook. He just draws the fullback and away goes Zinzan Brook. Good try.
Here it is again, ground level in ISO slow-mo from John Kerwin. He evaded the high tackle and gave it to Brook, who had a look and then raced in. And so that conversion of the try by Zinzan Brook by Grant Fox means that at half-time, the All Blacks lead the Pumas at Athletic Park by 19 points to 9. So the second 40 minutes begin. And remember, the Argentina team, they need to win the game, they need to draw the game, or they need to score 3 tries to make it through to the quarterfinals. If they don't, then on Wednesday night at 10 to 9, flight AR881, Aerolíneas Argentina, departs. The only flight out of Auckland for Argentina in a week. So they've got a lot to play for if they want to stay in this cup. New Zealand on top. Their back play has not been too impressive. Let's see how they go in the second 40 minutes. Kirk again, just running around, popping up for Brook, but it went forward. And that's Turnez. And let's see, Zinzan Brook has been very pesky to the Argentinians in the first 40 minutes. Gomez, Brook didn't quite get him, and the Argentina team is duffing about in front of their goalposts, but Brook is down. He's holding his knee, I think. That's let's have a look and see how that happened. Brook coming through. And that was a very bad landing, I think, for Zinzan Brook. Let's see what the situation is. It's Gomez, number 9, also being attended. He's a 22-year-old from Banco Nación Club in Buenos Aires, and he's the club mate of Hugo Porter and Fabian Turnez, and the co-champions of Buenos Aires in the most recent season. Second half has just begun, and let's have a look at Brook, who is rapidly heading to be one of the new heroes of New Zealand rugby. A fairly relaxed Brian Lahore in the stand. And it's the other leg from the one that's got the big sock on it, the big rubberized thigh bandage. And it was a penalty awarded to New Zealand for the little scuffle, was it, Graham?
No, I think it was playing the ball on the ground, actually.
Playing the ball on the ground. So look at that. That's 3 points, and it's gift week for Grant Fox. He's had a couple like that today. So a great start for New Zealand, and that might knock the stopping out of the Pumas. An early start against them, 22-9, and Fox up to 14 points.
Hugo Porter's got a lot of problems at the moment. He hasn't been playing the best rugby of his career, and I'm sure he'd be the first to admit it. But he is a folk legend in Argentina. He's played some magnificent football, without doubt the best fly half in the world in the 70s.
There is a player going off the field, down to the back, and it's Gabriel Travaglini. And that's a sad blow for one of the survivors of the Puma team that played here in 1979. He's heading off the field as Porter restarts. New Zealand comfortably in the lead by 22 points to 9. Now let's see, Gomez. McCarhill. It's Kieran Crowley's clearance up towards halfway. Pumas with 14 men at the moment, waiting to bring a replacement on. You see Brook is clear at the back of the line. Another one to New Zealand off the Pumas throw. Kirk finds Fox. McCarhill, the big slide rule kick across the field. Being chased well by Terry Wright, and that was putting good pressure from Wright on the fullback. Guillermo Ango. Wright wanted the ball for the quick throw in. And referee Crittenden picked up the fact that over the touchline, the Puma player wasn't going to hand him the ball, so he's bought the penalty in 15 metres, and it'll be another shot at goal for Grant Fox.
And I'm sure that Peter Craig is probably sitting at home, perhaps in Australia, remembering what happened in 1982 when he threw the ball over the top of the sponsors' signs.
Okay, there he was. It was excellent pressure from Terry Wright. He really charged through on Ango, and then Wright went across for the quick throw because Ango had taken the ball across the touchline, but he refused to give him the ball. Wright wanted it for the quick throw in, and referee Crittenden saw it, penalised him, and here's another shot for Grant Fox. So that's penalty number 5 for Grant Fox. Remember, he was down to 33% at one stage. Now he's up to 75% success rate today. Here's the replacement for the Puma team, Jose Mastagni. We've seen a lot of Hugo Porter kicking off, and the Pumas, I don't know how their Latin temperament will cope with these repeated penalties flying between the posts from Grant Fox, plus the tries, of course. Let's see how they do. That's Fabian Turnes, the man they say is being groomed to take over from Hugo Porter. It's 10-metre mark in New Zealand territory. And you see the signal from referee Crittenden. He says, keep play going, it's still moving. When it collapses, the whistle goes.
I think the All Black forwards can have a field day in the second half if the game does just loosen up a bit, because the All Black backs are getting knocked over left, right and centre from the Argentinians, who are standing up so flat. And I think the tactics will have to change.
Kirk, Fox. Campo, lost it. Lost forward by Andy Earl. That's Andy Earl playing his 4th test match today. He was one of the baby All Blacks. And in this 15 today, there are just 5 of the Cavalier team that went to South Africa. So their numbers have been reduced somewhat today. from this particular 15, that is. Drake in the front row with Sean Fitzpatrick and Richard Lowe. Kirk away to Earl. Didn't really get great speed up to get past Porter. Alan is there. And the referee stopped it for a scrum. Six minutes gone, second half. 25 points to 9. The All Blacks are emphatically playing this game. There's David Kirk making the signal to Fabio Gomez. Crowley's pulled that one back in and is running near halfway. They didn't really line up for him. McCahill, Earl, midfield, 10-metre mark. Brook, Fox, Stanley at the 22. Stanley's going to go in. Well, this is not one of the great speedsters of New Zealand rugby, but he ran around the man there and sets up at the corner. Look at the good break here from Zinzan Brook. Little crash run here and a set-up pass for Fox, and all of a sudden it was clear for Stanley from 40 metres out. He ran around the flying defenders and was comfortably in on his own in the corner.
Good try, set up by the forwards. They got two good mauls and rucks, and then all Joe Stanley had to do was run, but he still had to get around Aline, and he got round on the outside, as a good centre should do for a flanker, and over he goes. From down low, you'll see the way Zinzan Brook drew the defence. Ango was drawn, and then it was Joe Stanley. Saw the line, saw he had lots of room on the outside, pinned his ears back, and there's the try.
Well, the points continue to mount for this New Zealand team. It's 29-9. Good strike on the ball by Fox, but no conversion. He's remains at 17 points, and it's 29-9. A long way to go, and now it's a bit early to be talking yet about the record book, because let's face it, the whole record book's been rewritten in this World Cup. But Stanley's try and Fox is kicking. The other tries in the first half. It could be on for more big points tally from Grant Fox.
I think, talking of records, Keith, you've got to have Rugby World Cup records and not international test records like they do in the soccer.
Well, I'd like to see the whole record book rewritten, make it all uniform across the 16 countries here, say, and maybe a few others that are capable of playing international rugby at a pretty high level.
Hugo Porter acting as the referee of the Argentinian side.
And Roger Crittenden acting a bit like a schoolmaster there with the finger out. That's what he is, of course. Gomez. Back to Porter. Crowley waits. Bounced off Madero, and it could be a try. Somebody was there to touch it down.
I think it did come off an Argentinian head, actually, Keith, and forced down behind the New Zealand line for a 22. Long kick, no doubt, from Fox.
Don't laugh, because when the last Puma team were here, I saw Hugo Porter on several occasions on that tour deliberately head the ball to touch using soccer skills in a rugby match, and it's not uncommon in rugby in Argentina. Terry Wright, a change of direction with the Lescabura pass. Karen Crowley kicking deep, the straight one, driving the Pumas back. That's Lanza Sort of patchwork pattern rugby at the moment. Stanley. Collision there with Branca. What do you think of all this, Graham? It's interesting, I suppose. Not much pattern to it, is there?
No, but the Argentinians know that they have to score tries and they're going to have a go. But the All Black tackling is pretty good. They look like they want to enjoy it in the second half as well. No, the way they changed direction of the play just now. But good tackling by the Argentinians. They're getting up quickly and knocking them over as they have to. And you've got to remember there's always two sides playing a game of rugby. You don't play to your weakness, you play to your strength. And you know that New Zealand's going to get all the balls, so you stand up flat and you knock them over.
This is Juan Lanza. Remember, his identical twin brother, Pedro, was in the reserves. The two sets of twins, the Lanzas and the Wettons, have played against each other in a test before in 1985. Match restarts on the 10-metre mark. Away to Kirk on the blind side. Oh, again, it was not quite right for Terry Wright. And I guess he'll be getting, to use that New Zealand expression, cheesed off out there on the wing, because the balls have not been flying at him for a running chance in the game.
Yet last week against Fiji, it all went left to Craig Green, didn't it?
Porto gets it going back, gets Brook, who tears it from his hands, out to McCahill. Oh, looked like it could have been an accidental offside. He just touched his man. That's halfway. Referee couldn't and lets it go. Kirk, a lovely pass to Brook. A penalty to New Zealand. The Pumas that time were up too far, and it's a penalty midfield. Skipper Kirk. Captain Kirk, of course, he was called many times until that one wore rather thin. He's called for the sand and Grant Fox, and there'll be another shot at goal.
It's pretty bruising out there, of course, Keith, and you need a rest every so often. The forwards don't like doing all the work. They like to take some big breaths and get it back so that they can start again. It is a test match, we've got to remember.
.22 points against Italy, 26 points against Fiji, 17 points so far today for Grant Fox. That kick was right from what we understand to be the very edge of Fox's range, but he struck it beautifully. 32 points to 9. .68 points in 2 3/4 matches for Grant Fox. So one thing's for sure, wherever they are, the Fijian team will be delighted with the way things are going. It looks like they'll be safely into the quarterfinals against France, Eden Park, on Sunday. Crowley took a thump. McCahill.
That was hospital pass stuff, that. Good gracious, I would like to be in Kieran Crowley's shoes now. And I'd say he'd have a little word to say to Joe Stanley for that little hospital one.
The All Blacks have scored 176 points in the World Cup so far. Good break by Campo. Caught by Pearce. Allen. Gomez. Carusio. That's the corner flag. Here come the Pumas. That's the most meaningful charge the Pumas have put on the All Black line.
They're all giving Roger Quinlan a lot of advice there, the Argentinian players. Offside's the same in any language, I think, Keith.
So let's see what the Pumas can cook up this time. They're on attack, close to the line. They put the big scrum in. Up they come in the front. Look at the stress and strain on Lowe and Fitzpatrick. And it's now a tight head to New Zealand. Earl burst away. Away goes Wetton. Kirk. Wright. Brooke. Pearce. It's gone to the Pumas. That's Lanza. Ango. The ball is just hanging about down the back. Stanley has to play it out from the goal line. But this could be on for a breakout by Kerwin. And we know he can do it. Caught at the 22. It's on the Pumas side. Dengra. Now Porter. The little kick for the corner. And Lanza has scored for the Pumas. This is the last part of it, with Serafin Dengra out to the backs to Gomez. Porter involved with this beautiful little kick, flying for the corner, and Lanza is in for the try.
Perhaps a black mark against John Kerwin and Kieran Crowley for running it out from their own goal line, but the little kick, the perfect kick from Porter, and Lanza did the rest. He's quick, got the good bounce. The goal line loomed up ahead.
So as soon as the Pumas score a try, even though they're behind, we start to think about tries. They have to score 3. And Porter kicks the conversion. Hector Silva, it's nail-biting stuff for them, and you have to get out the calculator to add it all up. 32 points to 15 is the score. But remember, they have to lose but score 4 tries, so 3 more to go. They could lose and score 3 tries and not lose by more than 35 points and get through. So the Pumas, although they're in the losing end of the game, are playing a game probably against a sort of a wider game of rugby. Probably the first time we've ever experienced this, Graham. They're playing some mythical team that are in the middle distance. So we think Fiji will be just a bit concerned now that the try scored by the Pumas, converted by Porter, will put them closer to knocking Fiji out of the quarterfinal place. It's still a long way ahead of the Pumas. 10-metre mark. Down to Kirk. That was a crazy try, Graham. It came forward and back. The All Blacks nearly broke out and scored one themselves.
Yes, if the game hadn't been so loose, I don't think they would have tried to run it out.
Porter. Madero is left out. Ango is up. This is Campo, who's got the big kick. He had the excellent centering kick. Crowley. There's Marcelo Campo, and before this World Cup, he'd been out of the Argentina team for 5 years. Dengra. It's Carosio. Fast hands now, Rafael Madero. 29-year-old veteran, near halfway. Gomez, caught by Gary Wetton.
And down at the bottom of that ruck is Hugo Porter. He doesn't get caught that many times by a group of forwards. He's still holding on to the ball.
Nice touch by Zinzan Book, the young man on the field, to haul up the veteran. Let's listen.
Empty out your studs. Empty them. That was only a slip. See the mark. Wait.
New Zealand team retires. Gomez. Porter. Straight to Crowley. Guillermo Ango, 22-year-old from La Plata, his first test match today.
Man in front. The idea was right.
The Pumas are very keen, Graham, aren't they? They've got that try, so that's just a little sniff of the quarter-final for them. $32 points to 15. Away to Fox. Long ball. Wright gets one to run onto at last. Nearly got away. Wetton and Brook were there real quick. McCarhill thrown out. So there he is from Auckland. Bernie McCarhill, also a 22-year-old. Puma throw, and they've won this one off their own throw. Gomez, Porter running it out from in front of their post. Tunes, Madero, Lanza, who scored the try. Good tackle by Kerwin. Crowley.
That wasn't late.
Well, we saw a real close-up of that one from John Kerwin. It certainly didn't look late from up here. Now they're trying it again. Out to the big guy, Eliseo Branca. Gomez! Oh, and a pass just out to Campo, dropped at his feet. Marcelo Campo. Jorge Allen. Diego Cash. Dengra. Allen again. Gomez. Porter. Fabian Tunes.
Well, they're picking themselves up, the Argentinians, and running onto the ball. The tackling came from the All Blacks, though, with a couple of dubious little knock forwards in that movement. But as you say, Keith, the Argentinians have got a sniff of that quarter-final if they can score 2 more tries.
I'll tell you what, Graham, I've got this book of rules here. It's about half an inch thick of what the alternatives are if they get close. And I'm sweating because if it gets close, we're going to have to work it out.
But you've given us a history lesson or a geography lesson on the Pumas. You can now give us a, you've given us a mathematical lesson.
Just to repeat, Argentina can get through to the quarterfinals by winning the game, by drawing the game, which would give them 3 points and put them ahead of Fiji. They could lose the game but score 4 tries and would put them straight in ahead of Fiji. They could lose, score 3 tries and stay within 35 points. But here is a sad blow for them because the little man who's going to be, they say, the man to replace Hugo Porter has crashed down in this incident, and Fabian Tunes is out of the game. So 2 replacements will be needed by the Pumas. They're really trying hard now to get up to those 3 tries and stay close. Porter, lovely kick through again for the other winger, Campo. Well, Graham, he certainly has still plenty of slick tactics, and there's referee Quinton having a word with Kirk, so maybe Kirk was giving some advice to referee Quinton, but he didn't appreciate.
Replacement for Argentina for Fabian Tunes, number 12, is number 70, Pedro Lanza.
Well, there it is. The twins are on each side now. There he is. That's the other twin, Pedro Lanza. And I guess they'll be looking forward to next Sunday because that's their birthday. They'd like to celebrate it in the quarter-final. Gomez, Porter, Madero, McCarhill makes the tackle. Brook, Wetton, Kirk clears, still in play. The two twins are getting back. Look at that. And that's Pedro Lanza and Juan, and Kerwin gets them both. Born on the 7th of June, 1962, so 25 next Sunday. Well snaffled off the ground by Wetton. Earl to Brook. That's the 22. Kirk. Earl. Andy Earl. Try for the only South Islander in the All Blacks. And is he delighted?
It all started because it was a tap back, and it was Gomez in all sorts of trouble. Once again, it was Brooks so close, gave it to Gary Wetton, who's hit it up. Now watch number 8, Andy Earl, running like a fly half. He sold the dummy, really, with the body, and Porter came across, wasn't too keen on the tackle, and scored the try.
He scored the try, but Willie Comer's here. Andy Earl from Glenmark in North Canterbury. He had to shrug off sort of a jersey pull at the end of the line-out to get through, support, make the pass to Brook. Down they charged to the 22. He was on the deck and away to the left, and when he got up, he was like a fly half. And here's where the man from Glenmark in North Canterbury, Andy Earl, runs on to score his first Test try.
Well, he put it down the same channel as the one before from that position. Not his the side he likes, Grant Fox.
Now here's Richard Lowe, looking like he'd like to score his first Test try. Fox, McCarhill, Stanley, Wright and Ango, and Guillermo Ango. Well, here comes the quick throw, perhaps. No, they've gone for the standard set line-out start. No, it is a quick one. Tapped to Kirk. Fox to Stanley. Well, Kerwin got a difficult one, got it well. Alan Wetton, minus the headband now. Kieran Crowley.
Look at him, he's inside the game.
McCarhill. Zinzan Brook. Gary Wetton, he hasn't scored a try in a Test match yet. And Fox touches down, but you can see, I'm sure, that a sneaky little foot went over the touchline. But anyway, the whistle had gone.
They're enjoying it now, the All Blacks, Keith. They're supporting each other so well. And the forwards are even smiling. So there's Zinzan Brook, as we keep saying. He's so close to the ball, and Gary Wetton had to go down. And watch the way Fox is standing there, gets it, but he puts his foot into touch. Goes over, there goes the corner flag.
Yes, Gary Wetton's been in the ball game a long time. This is his 24th Test match, and he's yet to score a try in an official Test. He scored for the All Blacks before. He's taken one in the chest there, and he was piling in over the top.
I think when he took the ball down, we could see he wasn't going to go anywhere, and I think he fell badly as he went to the ground to set that ball up.
This will be where Wetton gets the bump. Oh yes, he takes the ball. That was the end of the ball. It was end on. So that would be a sharp jab in his chest. And that would be very painful. The game resumes. 12 minutes to play. Kirk. Fox. Stanley. Kerwin's then. Crowley up. And Crowley's in. He got a try there against England 2 years ago. And that same little patch. Crowley's in again. Standard back play with the skip pass, right past in front of McCarhill. Kerwin and his extra man got a bit crowded with right, but coming up like the left winger was Kieran Crowley.
If you have a look at the Argentinians, there's about 5 of them, but when Kerwin comes round on the outside, look, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them go to him, and an intelligent play whips the ball out on his left to Kieran Crowley, and Kieran Crowley does the rest.
So Fox has missed a few this afternoon, but he's still got 20 points. It's 40 points to 15 at the moment.
He still wouldn't be happy because he's a perfectionist, as Grant Fox. As most people that came from Auckland Grammar are, of course, Keith.
We won't begin to start talking about secondary schools in this New Zealand team. There are about 4 from Graham Thorne's old school of Auckland Grammar in there. The Wettons, Fitzpatrick. No, he's not. Fox. John Drake as well, so there are 4. Very famous old All Black Jack Finlay was telling me at Palmerston North the other day that we should check the record books, but the Christchurch Boys High first 15, he thought, in 1921 had 6, or was it more than 6 players went on to become All Blacks. It's John Drake. Got his first game for the All Blacks against an Argentinian team on the tour there in 1985, but he came in as a replacement. Kirk. Fox for rights side. Crowley there to support, so is Alan Wetton. Notice Wetton, he starts with the headband. It never lasts the full 80 minutes. But one thing for sure, Alan Wetton does.
A few knees going up there as well as Ango took the ball.
21-63. 21-63. Move, fellas. Drive.
Only about 7 minutes left. And time ticks away for the Pumas. That's that throw. That's a very good one by Fitzpatrick. A low flat one to beautifully timed to Alan Wetton's jump. Richard Lowe's got the ball. This is about 18 metres out. Earl again. Zinzan Brook. You'll see the goal line come into the shot. Brook still charging with the ball. Now he's lost it to Dengra, to Gomez, the 2 halfbacks. What a match he's had getting off the floor. Zinzan Brook.
You could have engaged them.
Okay, the Pumas. Oh, that's a ambitious stuff. Oh, and Kerwin's going to get a try. No, he's just a bit short. But I noticed that the Puma backs were standing behind the goal line. Obviously something was on, and it was a little pop kick by Porter from behind his lineman. John Kerwin didn't just have enough to stretch out. He just probably wasn't long enough with his arm at full extent. There's the goal line. It's not a 5-metre scrum, but it's Puma ball.
Yes, and once it goes over that goal line, they're in an invidious position, the Pumas, because if they hook it, it's in no man's land, and David Kirk is so quick at getting over that line.
Gomez. They are going to run it out from behind their line. Porter, lost ball. Who wants it? So we're going to see another scrum. Now, wait a minute. Penalty. He's going back to the 5-metre line for the penalty. Now, let's see what the New Zealanders do. There's the tap. Alan Wetton. Now, somebody got stuck in to Wetton after the ball was scored, and it looked to me like it might have been Hugo Porter. Alan Wetton joins that little club that have scored in every World Cup game. And let's look at that again. 44 to 15, the points are really mounting. The All Blacks are a bit angry about that. And referee Quittenden is speaking sternly to Hugo Porter. Look at Porter, number 10, and that is hard down on the side of the head of Alan Wetton, and that is to be condemned.
He's still talking to him.
He might be off. Remember, he might be off. No.
Well, I think he's a very lucky man.
He is a very lucky man, and perhaps just the reputation of the man stopped him from being sent off there, because the referees had a meeting earlier in the tournament in Auckland just before it started, and it was laid out to them in very stern manner that the use of the boot in aggressive manner means you are automatically sent off. (44 to 15). The Pumas are gone now. And that's a fine conversion by Fox. 46 points to 15. Let's look at that again.
It's a penalty on halfway. Well, let's have a look at there. There goes Porter now.
There's Porter hard down with his boots. There's just a wee element of doubt to whether that was deliberate. I'll give Porter the benefit of the doubt there. He's been penalised. The All Blacks have had a penalty at halfway because of that incident. It's out to Terry Wright, but the pass was forward. Now, that's a rule that a law you might need explained to you. If you infringe after a try has been scored, the restart at halfway is a penalty against the team that infringed.
Or at the restart of any movement, a line-out or a scrum.
And it can be taken anywhere along the halfway. It doesn't have to be taken in the centre spot. That's just more or less a logical place to take it. Disappointment in the faces and frames of the Argentina Pumas as they head out of rugby's first World Cup. A team that came here with much hope, though many Argentinians were critical of the team. Just a couple of minutes left in the game. Fox, McCarhill, Crowley. The New Zealand back play has not been good today. I'm talking here about set play, Graham Thorne. What have you thought of it?
It hasn't been good. The moves haven't worked. They seem to be flat-footed and up too close to the advantage line. Fox is going to now try and kick for position. He's not going to find touch. Back goes Campo. He finds touch. So perhaps time for one more try. It's no good to the Argentinians. They're going to catch the flight that Keith was talking about.
(46 points to 15). New Zealand have scored 190 points in the World Cup. Richard Lowe. Kirk, the captain. Brook plays halfback. He's done everything else. He'd rather fired his pass, though. Penalty to New Zealand. Last one taken by Fox. He didn't want the points for the 3. McCarhill kicked away by Porter. I think we might give Porter the benefit of the doubt on that decision with Alan Wetton. On second look, it looked like he was tumbling a little. You happy with that, Graham?
Yes, if we're going to look at the replays and we want to be fair, that he didn't know where he's going to put his foot, and David Kirk caught the foot of Gomez there as he took the short kick. So 10 metres further up the field, but they'll have to take a tap kick again.
Okay, the high one from Porter. Kirk gets the man, and down goes David Kirk.
That's send-off. That's a send-off offence. That is disgusting, disgraceful. There's no effort at all to even try and tackle a man, and that is so dangerous, and that is off the field stuff.
Alejandro Schiavio came right through on David Kirk. Let's look and see if we agree with what Graham Thorne says. There he is in centre frame, and he sets himself, Kirk and the ball, and boof.
It wasn't even a tackle.
It was shoulder only. So the Pumas are sticking in some of the mean stuff towards the end of this game. There it was, just took out the man very high, shoulder and neck. That is extremely dangerous play by number 7, Alejandro Schiavio.
And Bruce Deans might be getting a bit excited in the stand perhaps now, but I just will not condone that. You go for the ball, yes, but you don't just go straight for the man, and you go high, and that could have taken David Kirk's head off. And I'm sure that some other referees, he wouldn't have even hesitated. He would have been taking the early shower.
Well, Kirk, captain of New Zealand through these World Cup matches, he doesn't look 100%. He's doing an impersonation of Glenn Webb just there at the moment. The Welshman who took a thunderous knock also. And there's the kick to touch. But he is a victorious captain for the 3rd time. And the Pumas are on their flight home on Wednesday. New Zealand have thrashed them by 46 points to 15. They scored 6 tries, and Fox added 22 points with the boot. David Kirk, they'll be asking the question to see if he's okay. But he is the victorious captain for the 3rd time. They scored 70 points against Italy. They scored 74 points against Fiji. And today, 46 to 15, they have beaten Argentina. New Zealand, the group winners, comfortably through to the quarterfinals. The New Zealand coach, Brian Lahore, flanked by the selectors John Hart and Alex Wiley are there. Disappointment on the faces of the Pumas. There's referee Roger Quittenden, and the Pumas come in. They'll be heading for home. There's Andy Dalton, the non-playing New Zealand captain, if you like, a bit like the Harry Hopman of New Zealand rugby at the moment. And there's David Kirk heading for the dressing room. No chance really of an interview there today. Dr. Bill Treadwell, the doctor for today, looking anxiously after him down the corridor. And there are the disappointed men of the Pumas 15. And that was a sad ending to the game with that strong tackle by Alejandro Schiavio. But it was a comfortable victory for the New Zealand team by 46 points to 15. So, Graham Thorne, your impressions, New Zealand, are they ready for the big one against Scotland in the quarterfinals?
Oh, the forwards are definitely looking very good, Keith. Very mobile pack, and they go hunting so close to the ball. When Michael Jones didn't play, but Zinzan Brook just went in as if he'd played all his life in the All Black shirt. It was a tremendous performance from the forwards. A bit disappointed, I'm afraid, with the backs, especially from set play.
Kirk, Brook, Stanley, Earl, Crowley and Wetton scored the tries for New Zealand. Fox added the 22 extra points from the boot. And there it is, a score of 46 to 15 for New Zealand on a sunny athletic park in Wellington.